All right, and we are back with Versus Live here, sponsored by Card Knocks Chairs. We're ready for round 3 here. We kind of have a match that we have seen a lot of in the last standard season.
Yep.
Esper Hero against Mono Red Aggro, but you have a little bit of different changes, and this deck hasn't changed since the beginning of time.
Yeah, so Aaron Barich's iteration of Mono Red was pretty unique. I think Chandra Spitfire, as a main tool for the deck, really speaks a lot to how she viewed the format going into the tournament, with Risen Reef being one of the primary cards that was going to see a lot of play from Core Set 2020. That meant a lot more people were going to be ramping, and a lot more people were going to be kind of playing solitaire and doing their own thing, as opposed to trying to interact with the opponent. And Chandra Spitfire goes way over the top of people who are just not really doing a whole lot. You get a lot of really cool combo kill turns with Chandra Spitfire, with Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics and all sorts of cheap burn spells.
Yeah. So I listened to the winner's interview with Aaron, and she was saying that she regrets it a little bit in the sense that there were a lot more Cavaliers than she was expecting.
Sure.
So that was a little bit of a reason why maybe to go down on it.
Yeah, Cavalier Thorns, of course, having reach.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the one matchup where Chandra Spitfire was not really thinking this is going to be the breakout card in this matchup, because we have Tyrant Squirms, we have Othakayas, and we don't really care about gumming up the ground on board. Sure, it can fly over Heroes, but Heroes not that great here anyways. So it's definitely not what the matchup's for, but against those Risen Reef decks, Chandra Spitfire is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, though, if I go 1-drop and a 2-drop, if you have a Tyrant Scorn, you're going to cast it. You're going to kill my 2-drop creature, whatever it is. And then if I follow that up with Chandra Spitfire and you're like, okay, Narset, you might just die.
But the problem is, I made Tyrant Scorn on 2, but I can Othakaya on 3. I have 3 of those. I can Fairy Time Raveler on 3 to bounce. Like, but the red deck is very good at kind of overwhelming your opponent's removal, especially after sideboard. Barrich actually went in the way of multiple copies of Experimental Frenzy in the sideboard with only 1 copy in the main deck. Yep.
And basically saying, okay, in game 1, you're going to be playing Simic Nexus, you're going to be playing ramp strategies and Llanowar Elves, and you're not going to be playing removal spells. Chandra Spitfire is going to be my card advantage. It's going to kill my opponent and therefore eliminate all the permanents they have on the battlefield, and that's my card advantage.
Yep.
And it worked wonders. Won the tournament, was first in the Swiss. Like, the deck looked really, really well suited for the event.
So basically what I'm gathering from the way that we have been talking about the deck so far is every deck was trying to play in such a way that there's not early removal. It seems like maybe early removal is going to be poised to be very good in Philadelphia, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that also just might mean that Mono Blue's the best deck because of Dive Down. Oh,
Could be. I didn't see it. All right, so who's first? You're first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's on second, though?
What?
Who? Who's on first? What's on second?
A joke as old as time. Your hand is tight?
Yeah.
My hand is actually pretty tight, too.
All right. We're going to have a good one.
Yeah.
We're going to have a real flash banger.
We're going to have a real flash banger, as they would say. And by they, I mean Todd.
Yeah, 19.
All right.
Ember Hauler, go. Ember Hauler is a reprint, obviously, but it fits so well into the shell.
All right. So now we have a lot of options here. So do I either want to take a look at Todd's hand or just kill the Ember Hauler? I think I just want to kill this. Just soak up damage while Todd's tapped out and can't use Ember Hauler.
Yeah, and now, here's the real test. Can you kill this? If you can, you might survive. If you don't, I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill you next turn.
I'll be killing that.
Okay.
So I go to 18.
You might not even be dead next turn, but it's a lot of damage.
Yeah. I will take 2, but gain 3.
Okay.
So I will gain 1, go to 19 to 20, and I'll pass it back. Oh, the Kai is just still insane against Mono Red.
Yeah, of course.
Get the fact checkers out there, Kyle. Is it still insane?
Can confirm.
Okay.
Still insane.
It's still insane.
Let's go 1 to you.
Take 2.
No.
I'm a planeswalker. Arena told me so.
Okay, whatever, man.
18.
Is that really? We're doing that?
We're doing that?
Doing that? Okay. Top 2. Sharp Spitfire and a Shock.
Ooh.
So next turn, I think I just have to play this Ember Hauler and hope I draw a land for the Shock. But I'm just casting this next turn 99% anyway. Or if he does something, I might want to Shock a Planeswalker. But I think I just cast Ember Hauler here.
Okay, reasonable.
And then these are exiled. Your go.
Okay, so now I'm going to have basically every option in the book here. Ooh, that was a pretty strong... Yeah, so you have 2 actual cards in hand, huh? So now I have every option I could possibly conceive of here.
Great.
And it's just, what do I want to be doing here? I think... So with 2 cards in hand, I don't think I want to Thought Erasure this turn because Todd is very incentivized, if not forced, to play the 2 cards revealed from Light Up the Stage. So I think I'm going to save that play for next turn. So I really want to be playing one of my 3 mana cards. It's not Narset. Narset's terrible.
In this matchup.
Yeah, in this matchup. Of course, the card is busted. But we're just going to get Teferi Time Reveler out here and get a little bit of a tempo swing. Otherwise, it's just not going to be good later on. So we're going to draw a card, get some value, and then drop a land. Your turn.
Okay.
So if Todd does not get a 4th land, one of the cards just disintegrates, and then likely forced to do that. And that is exactly what we wanted to happen here. Now we have a phenomenal play. So I'm going to take 2, go to 16, and go Hero, Oath, get a token, and go to 19. All right, your turn.
Okay.
It's kind of exactly how we drew it up there. That's the kind of rough thing about Light Up the Stage, in my opinion, is you really get to sculpt your game plan around them pretty easily.
Oh, wait, Todd, you took 2 from attacking his Planeswalker, right? Because the other Kai was...
Yeah. Yep, he's at 21, I'm at 18.
21 to 18. Okay, attacking, so does not have 2 sorceries. So I'm going to force Todd to fire a removal at my face. Or just Chain Whirler here, yeah.
That's going to clean that up. You go to 20.
Okay.
And then... I'm going to Light Up the Stage.
Okay.
2 lands, so I'm not getting like much value out of these Light Up the Stages, which sucks. But this iteration of the deck can't really utilize the like 5th and 6th mana very well anyway. So this is basically just me kind of clearing off the top of the deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of 1. This one's gonna be my land for the next turn anyway.
And now I just we just need a hero. We're looking out for a hero till the end of the night. He's got a big fat... I'm done. Okay. All right, so I think I want to draw here, just tucking a Chain Whirler. If Todd has another Chain Whirler, it's just pretty bad. So we're just going to draw. We're at such a high life total. Oh, that was such a good draw. Okay, and then end step, we're going to untap.
Okay. All right, play my land off the Light Up the Stage.
Okay.
Attack Teferi.
All right, so trigger, take 2.
Yeah, 22 to 16.
All right.
I'm basically dead.
Yeah, I mean, our draw was just perfect on this end. I mean, I had 2 Oath of Kai's, I had a 2 mana removal spell, and then just straight drew Gasoline from there on out. So this does not happen every time with Hero, and it sure as heck didn't happen with me this weekend with Esper Hero. I did beat the bye pretty badly, though, round 1.
All right, so Ember Hauler, I'm going to skewer the Teferi.
Okay.
Your turn.
Down to 2. All right, so we're going to start by ticking up. Draw. Nothing really drew, or nothing very good drawn. Our hand's kind of bad now. So we got Narset to hope to restock. All right, we're going to look at the top 4. All right, so now we have options. We can go with Ugin the Ineffable, but it cannot be cast this turn. I would rather just keep control of the game. With a Tyrant Scorn, we're going to Scorn and Thought Erasure you. Okay, Scry. Another Thought Erasure going to the graveyard. Untap 2 lands.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and Lightning Strike the Teferi.
Okay.
Your turn.
Solid draw.
Basically can't really do much for the rest of the game unless I draw my 1-of Frenzy. But this is the one matchup that was kind of on the downswing and why you went low on Frenzy and high on Chandra Spitfire.
All right, so we're going to do this. Play another one. Try it again.
Cast Dig Through Time into Dig Through Time.
Yep.
Into Teferi.
Into Teferi. Take 2. Teferi. Just basically slam dunking at this point.
Pretty sure you played 2 lands this turn.
No, I didn't. I didn't play a land yet. I promise.
I only missed 1 land drop.
Uh-huh.
I was on the play.
You missed your 3rd. No, you missed 2 land drops. I promise.
Check the tape.
Because I started with Narset and then played Narset, and then I didn't play a land until after that. Because I didn't know if I wanted to play it tapped or not. Well, that was just basically Esper Heroes not draw. I mean, I had 2 Ultikayas to deal with your 2 Chandra Spitfire. It was
that was brutal.
Good. Yeah.
All right. We're going to play one more pre-board here to see if these Spitfires can do some work, but it's possible that I just need to wait until kind of like last minute to cast them as my last threat because of how potentially explosive they are with the burn spells. It's not like I'm throwing a lot of burn spells at you early on. You know, they're kind of just kind of stockpiling in my hand.
And the thing is, you have to throw burn spells at my Planeswalkers if you're behind. So I don't know. I feel like it is best to play early, but maybe they're just bad in the matchup and you're supposed to side them out.
Yeah. Got anything for me over there?
We had a couple questions earlier about Izzet Phoenix.
Okay.
In standard, modern?
In standard.
Okay.
What happened? And is it coming back?
I don't know. I mean, there's literally just week 1 or whatever. At the Invitational SCG Con, 2 of the 8-0 standard decks were Izzet Phoenix in some iteration. I think that Izzet Phoenix just struggles against ramp decks because it's not quite fast enough to keep up with those like really explosive giant Hydroid Crisis draws. But you know, it shines against matchup or like, you know, kind of these like other mid-range decks where your Lava Coils are good and Finale of Promise is good.
Yeah. So basically what happened is Simic Nexus. Simic Nexus is bad, and Izzet Phoenix's worst matchup is Simic Nexus. Week 1 standard, people are very much inclined to play these over-the-top strategies, either Nexus or really low-to-the-ground strategies, mono-red. So it's a really bad week 1 fix, but if we're seeing all this mono-blue, Izzet Phoenix comes back to answer those kind of decks, so we might see it, because mono-blue forces out Nexus, and that's what happened early on in standard last time. Mono-blue forced out Nexus, and then Izzet Phoenix came back to prey on them, but now that Simic Nexus got a lot of new toys, it's just good again. I think it's just bad, but yeah, I would say Nexus happened.
Sure. All right, I took a mulligan. Gonna go down to 6. Ugh. I think we have to keep, but I hate it.
Yeah, my hand's not great either.
We're going to put a Spitfire on the bottom because we just have 1 land, and we'll just tag for the Fanatical on 1.
All right, 19. Our hand doesn't do a ton, but we have the upside of having a very good draw. Your turn.
When does the deck not?
Good point. 18.
Just say go.
Your turn.
Attack.
I'll take it. 17.
Go.
Not a good draw. Thought erasure.
Sure. 2 Chain Whirler, 3 burn spells.
We'll take a chain. All right. We're going to scry. We need a land here. No such luck. Your turn.
Surveil, right?
It's Surveil. Goes to grade.
Oh, yep.
So now I think I just want to kind of pop him with some burn spells.
Yeah,
put him to 14. Good. Use my mana. Attack you down to 13.
13.
Didn't draw the land. I'm just going to 6 you.
All right. Down to 7.
Your turn.
We're low. We really need a land here.
We only did that because he was stuck on 2.
Do I know of your other card?
You know a Shotgun and a Chain Whirler, I think. I drew Skewer.
Okay. Well, this is not great, but we're going to play this just to not really allow Todd to attack if draws a land because he'd rather play Chain Whirler. But yeah, this play can still happen. 6.
Live the stage.
Oh, God.
Land, Lava Runner, go.
Wow. Okay, so there's that land right on time. Now, I think I just have to say go.
Draw. Attack for 3.
All right, we got to kill that.
Take 1, you're at 5.
5 to 4, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Chain Whirler, you're down to 4.
4 to 20.
Your turn.
All right, so now we've had these elite guard mages for a long time. We've been really needing to play. There is no more fitting of a draw than the good old Temple of Tilt.
Yes!
I'll play a Narset and die.
Oh, that's good. Temple of Tilt.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. There is 2. That is the only new card that is being thrown into this deck.
I don't even think
strictly
it's
made
worse.
It worse.
Yeah, it's worse. It's just bad. I don't know why.
Yeah, BBD put this card in the deck just because he knew I'd be playing it on Versus Live to tilt me off 6 days in the future.
Temple of Tilt.
Go to Temple of Tilt.
All right. So we are 1-1. We're going to go ahead and move to sideboard and see if we can get in a full best of 5 here before we end the day. we're going to take a short break here while we get those set up. Don't go nowhere. Be right back for more Versus Live.
Finger guns. And welcome back to Versus Live, our third and final round here, our last sideboarding here. We are sideboarding Esper Hero against Aaron Barich's new SCG Worcester winning deck list. Todd, let's start with you. How you sideboarding?
All right, so Chandra Spitfire is a card that I think really shines against Simic-based decks because they just don't have a lot of spot removal. It's the card that was one of the bigger innovations for the archetype and really hammered home punishing your opponent for not interacting with you. Esper Control is kind of the flip side of that. It interacts with you at almost all the levels it possibly can, and Spitfire really lackluster in that style of matchup. So we're basically just going to be cutting that for a different, better 3-drop threat. Shock is our weakest burn spell, and most time they side out Hero Precinct 1 because I have to leave in some amount of removal, and then Skewer the Critics. Similarly, we don't really need that much burn. We're just going to be really threat dense. The cards we're going to be bringing in you're pretty familiar with most of them. Experimental Frenzy. A lot of the mono red decks have been built around this card, but Experimental Frenzy is pretty lackluster against these Simic ramp decks. It just doesn't really do enough, and then it's a little too slow. Tibalt Rakish Instigator is a great way to stifle some of your life gain with Elite Guard Mage, Lear Dawnbringer, Oath of Kaya, a number of other ways, and plus it makes some devils, so it's a really great sideboard card in this style of matchup. Chandra Acolyte of Flame, a newer addition, but I really like I really like its functionality in general, and in this matchup, being able to minus on a Fry or a Lightning Strike to deal the last few points of damage, or just continually pressure the Planeswalkers with those elementals is quite good. And then Fry, just an answer to basically all your Planeswalkers, your Hero Precinct 1.
And everything.
Yeah.
Just kills everything.
It doesn't deal with the army zombie if the Esper player is playing Enter the God Eternals, which I know BBD was a huge proponent of for multiple weeks. Exactly. But the switch back to Lear Dawnbringer actually makes Fry insane in this matchup.
So. That's why I played Enter the God Eternals. I do think it is slightly a better card. This list that we copied from the SCG chose not to do so. So my sideboarding becomes a lot more interesting. So first of all, these 5 auto outs, they're just so bad in the matchups. They're too big. They're too slow. But Hero Precinct 1 is a very interesting one because sometimes you play mind games with mono red. If they're taking out Shock and you're taking out all your removal and bringing in Planeswalkers, you want to be able to pressure those. Here, I still think I wanted to be taking them out because they're still so bad against Chain Whirler. I'm choosing to bring in 2 Lyra Dawnbreakers because if you don't have the Fry, it's just GG. Plus, we could back it up with a Dobin's Veto to just lock down the game. A bunch of ways to kill a mass amount of creatures. Cry is pretty good against Tibalt tokens, as well as Kaya's Wrath just cleans up everything.
It also just Cry the Conundrum kills every creature in my deck except for Goblin Chain Whirler.
Exactly. So. And I figured you were going to be taking out Chandra Spitfire because it just looked really bad game 1. And then I bringing in 2 copies of Dobin Vetoes and 1 Duress on the draw. Now this configuration can be switched a little. I could see 2 Duress, 1 Dobin's Veto when you're on the draw. But with us being on the play, I wanted to err on the side of more counter spells instead of Duress for the Planeswalkers and Frenzies you're going to be bringing in.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions while we're shuffling up for this game?
I heard there was something about Pauper being asked earlier.
Yeah, Pauper.
Great format.
Pauper.
Yeah,
Pop it.
What are your thoughts on Pauper now that it is a sanctioned paper format?
I'm actually... I don't know what the best word to say here is. I'm not indifferent. I have actually loved playing Pauper in the past, but they keep banning all the cool cards because they're just super powerful. And I don't really like that. I love the fact that a Storm deck could kill you on turn 3 with those thermal crevices or whatever, and all the rituals and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
I played a little bit of Delver action. I didn't play a ton of it.
Yeah, I played a bunch of Delver too, but they banned Cloud Fairies.
Now they banned my whole deck. But I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of decks rising to the top, and I feel like the metagames don't shift too fast in Pauper.
Yeah, and now
it's still a cool format, and I love that people have avenues to play their format to get to the Pro Tour now. That's cool.
That is really cool. I agree with that, for sure. All right. Anything else? Right. If not, we'll just battle, man. Battle is what I do best.
Would you guys like to play Pauper on Versus Live sometime?
I don't think we're legally allowed to.
What?
We can't play Pauper on Versus Live, can we?
Why would we not legally be allowed to?
I guess it is sanctioned. I just figured they wouldn't want us to play Pauper.
Who's they? Star City or Wizards?
Both.
They wouldn't make it a sanctioned format if we weren't allowed to make videos about it.
That's true. I
mean, otherwise they would already put the professor in jail.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so I'm on the play, and my hand is beautiful. I'll keep.
Yeah, mine's pretty good. We have played Pauper on Versus Live before, but it's few and far between.
So now I have an awkward situation here, and what do you know? It involves, if we want to take a peek at my hand, it involves the Temple of Tilt. My mana base is so awkward right now that I don't want to lead with Temple because I can't play any of my spells on turn 2 if I miss. So we just have to go Godless Shrine tapped. Go.
Nice. Exactly where you want it.
Yeah. You know, when you're playing Godless Shrine tapped instead of playing Temple of Silence on turn 1, you know this card just shouldn't be in your deck.
Yeah, it should just be Isolated Chapter, 100%. Especially if that's what you cut for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You're
19. Right. All right, so now we are allowed to play our Glacial Fortress, which we wouldn't with Temple. And now we have both of our options here. I want to just take a peek since we're early on. So that is a land. So Runaway Steamkin's going to be pretty solid. Lightning Strikes we don't care about. Tybalt is quite annoying against us, and I don't really have a great answer for that. So we're just going to take the Tybalt.
Okay, surveil 1.
All right. Don't want a Doan's Veto this early. We're looking for land, so back to you.
I'll put these up.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just going to go ahead and Steamkin.
Okay.
Hit you for
18.
And now I can get this above Cry the Carnarium next turn, but if he has Cry this turn, I am womp-womped.
Womp-womp. Okay, so we got this. I think we want to land here, so we're going to keep that on top and pass it to you.
Okay, let's go Lava Runner trigger.
Trigger.
Lightning Strike you, trigger.
So I'm going to go to 15, and the reason I didn't Tyrant Scorn right away is because I want Todd to fire off removal spells in my face here instead of at my Planeswalkers that matter a little bit more.
Yep.
Now I have a decent amount of options again. I think I just want to start by saving my life total here. Othakaya, gain 3, 17. Up to 18.
I have you at 17. You forgot 1 from this attack.
I did? Yep. Okay. 17. Your turn.
You played a Isolated Chapel?
I did not take damage from my lands.
Yeah. No, I was just making sure. Okay.
I played a Chapel this turn,
right.
Yep.
Strike you.
Okay.
So that gives me
14, 3, 11.
Yep, that gives me the second instant or sorcerer in the graveyard, so we can attack with the Lava Runner. I don't love burning the burn spells like that, but if he doesn't have the removal spell, we're just leaving too much damage on the table with Steamkin.
Yep.
This attack.
So now I'm faced with an interesting scenario. So I can go down the path of just killing Lava Runner here and accepting the fact that I'm only taking 1, or I can go for the more high upside, high risk reward play of Teferi Time Raveling my Othakaya, and then taking 3. I think it's probably just best to try to kill Lava Runner here. So I'm going to pass back. Kill Lava Runner.
Okay, you take 1, you're 10.
Because basically the life gain I would gain, I kind of just lose back immediately.
Your turn.
All right, so I drew another removal spell. Now I think this is the time to make that play. Teferi?
Yep.
All right, we're going to just bounce right away.
Okay.
Go. Teferi's dead. We're completely fine with that. We got our value out of it. All right, I'll despark that after you get a look. So you get to look first.
Okay. Your turn.
All right.
It's a good draw, but a good answer.
Good draw, good answer. So here, we don't really need to deal with that. So we're just going to get the hero that we need. Draw, untap, your turn. We need a hero.
All right, Frenzy.
Okay.
Let's go. You're at 10?
Yep.
All right, 1 at the ferry.
Okay, still inside of combat. Mortify.
Okay. Tilt.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, Frenzy just isn't that big of a problem post-board from this deck. You just get so many options of how to kill it. So now we're going to go with Elite Guard Mage.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to go to 13. Draw. And then... yeah, we'll go to 16. Then we'll untap. And it's your turn. We are firmly driving this bus. Our hand is absolutely terrible, but we have Teferi to help us out. When Mono Red slows down post-board, it definitely gives us a lot more of a chance.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm cutting the cheap creatures. I'm just cutting burn spells to just go face.
Exactly,
yeah. I've drawn, a ton of lightning strikes.
Yeah, I think the only thing it feeds in, like my D-Sparks are just dead cards if you just never play a 4-drop. I always wonder if people sideboard like that, if it would just be better. I really don't know, Doesn't seem like it because Frenzy's too powerful, but...
Yeah, I mean, if I've won countless games against Esper just because Frenzy went unchecked.
Well, I think it was even you that were commentating the top 8 match with Aaron versus the Esper hero player. The third one, the third Frenzy just ran away.
2 here, you gain 2 life, I lose 2. 18 to 18.
Okay, 18 to 18.
Okay, here you go.
All right. Untap. That was a draw. That was a magic card. Lyra Dawnbringer is going to be a good play.
I'm going to draw Fry off the top and just clap you.
And just clap. We'll also draw another good card, but I don't think we can not just play Lyra Dawnbringer. Do this and untap.
All right.
Time for the clap.
So, I'm just dead. You win.
Okay. All right. I drew this too, so it was pretty interesting of what to actually play. Our hand would have been nice.
All right. Not a lot of the... Well, Mortify has been on the downswing over the last few months in the Esper decks because it's kind of an inefficient answer to like a lot of the creatures in the format, which is why Experimental Frenzy has kind of run rampant and been one of the marquee cards for the mono red decks. But if you saw at the beginning of War of the Spark Standard, everyone expected the Esper decks to play 4 Mortify because they were always playing like 3 or 4 Mortifies. And that's when you saw Chandra Fire Artisan kind of take off as a 4 of in the winning deck list in the very first week. And then over time people were like, oh, why not just play Frenzy? It's like it's busted. So there's a chance that, people go back to Mortify or whatever. Like maybe just more Chandra Fire Artisan would be good because it works. It does work well with Acolyte of Flame too. Just putting extra loyalty counters on it. It can ultimate like a turn or 2 faster if you get that 1-2 punch.
No, I think it's interesting. I think Mortify in the main deck is a product of week 1 standard because anybody who's smart is going to recognize that Simic Nexus is going to be around and it's going to be around in high numbers. So you really want to not have any dead cards in that matchup, and I think that's what Mortify screams to me.
All right. I'm going to keep this one. Saying it's quite good. Okay. I will say that this build doesn't really allow me to board Runaway Steamkin out, and Runaway Steamkin is one of my least favorite cards in this matchup because it kind of bottlenecks you into overextending onto the battlefield to get any value out of it. But the same is true for Chandra Spitfire, and I don't think we can board out 8 creatures. If we were going to do that, we would need to board in more creatures.
Is there any way you think maybe you should leave in Chandra Spitfire because I'm bringing in Cry? It's bad game 1, but game 2 it actually gets a little better, maybe?
Maybe,
but I mean, it's not. I only usually have 2 Cries, plus there's still Kaya's Wrath. So it doesn't seem great to me, but it's an option. This matchup is really kind of about mind games. Okay, so we're going to keep this one. We have a redundant draw of this card if we can take a peek at my hand. Our opener before was a 1-lander. It wasn't even close, so we didn't even show it. Okay.
All right, attack for 1, you're 19.
19.
Here you go.
You always have it, Todd.
I mean, if I had 8 Lenworlds in my deck, I would always have a Lenworld.
That's true. Your turn.
Not always, but most of the time. All right, Steamkin, attack for 1.
Okay. Down to 18.
Yeah, and this is a problem where I actually don't have a way to double spell next turn to get Steamkin online or out of range of Cry the Carnarium. So there's a chance that
your turn.
I just get absolutely mangled by that.
If only.
Things have changed.
Things have changed. Okay, no blocks. 16.
Apply the stage.
Okay.
Now I can maybe double spell. Oh, conveniently, I can double spell. Your turn. Your turn. That was
convenient.
That was nice.
Todd made a great play because I may have had it. So with that being the case, I will go to Fairy. Force Todd to act now.
Well, I'm going to lose this next turn anyway if I don't cast it. And if he minuses, I'm going to be able to kill the Teferi. Or I'm going to be able to kill it plus or minus. So let's just strike you.
I think I have to bounce here.
So
that's
you're
just getting
13?
too out of hand.
Okay.
Yep, I'm at 13 to 20. I'm going to draw a card and pass it to you. Still a decent exchange. I had to get that Runaway Steamkin shrunk. Otherwise, you could just go Frenzy and start comboing me.
Yeah. We're going to play Tybalt just because we want to make sure he can't lead Guard Mage next turn for full value.
Okay.
And Oath of Kaya will keep him from getting life as well.
Okay.
I don't believe I had the right token.
When in doubt, we can blame Kyle about that.
No, they're
right?
here. They were in the box.
Dang it.
They're in the box. They're in the box.
Kyle, that little devil.
Wow.
Nice. All right. Oops. Put that off camera. So I'm at 13. I can't really afford to take more damage here. I'm just going to cry here to get the value.
Yeah. And it does exile the devil, so it doesn't deal the damage.
Your turn.
But that's a pretty fine
Exile
scenario.
the Devil sounds like a sweet metal song name. Okay. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. Let's go ahead and Chain Whirler you. Put a counter on the Seamkin, deal 1 to you.
Okay. So I am down to 12.
Your turn.
All right. So now I have a couple options here. I think I only have one option here. I really need to cry here to prevent running away with it. And then Chain Whirler unfortunately has to stick around. I don't have a great answer for it, so we're just going to do that. All right, 9.
I have you at 13 going to 10.
13.
Oh, I did Chain Whirler. I missed it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's play an Ember Hauler.
Ember Hauler resolves.
Here you go. Very suspicious of a Dovin's veto from how he was kind of body languaging me.
My body language, too?
Dang it.
I gave it away. All right, here I have the option of playing Big Teferi or Little Teferi. Big Teferi, I would have to tuck, so Big Teferi tuck Chain Whirler is reasonable. Then Ember Hauler just comes at that, but I just throw away my Teferi. I think I have to go Little Teferi and hope to draw something more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to send back Chain Whirler. Unfortunately, our draw was not great. We're just going to play around and say go.
Okay, I'm going to try a Chain Whirler. That way I don't have to waste a 2-point attack.
Yep, seems good.
All right, hit you for 2.
8 down to 6.
6. Now, I don't see a whole lot of reason to play another Ember Hauler here and just run into a Kaya's Wrath. He does also get to see 2 more cards since the last time he had the chance to Kaya's Wrath.
Plus, then you can't activate any of the haulers unless you play a land as well.
Yeah. But I don't know. We can try to force his hand, but it just seems... whatever. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to jam. Here we go.
All right. I was hoping he wouldn't do that, because my hand does not contain a Kaya's Wrath. Ooh, but that's a good one.
Well, if you had Kaya's Wrath last turn, you 100% would have casted to kill these 2, I think. And then... So it was kind of a desperation Teferi because you didn't really gain any traction from it.
Yep. This would actually have been a great draw, but this is going to vibrate at me, and then you're going to be able to just... and then you're just going to be able to attack back with Ember Haulers and then do the last final point. So, Yep. All right, that's GG.
All right, 2 and 2. We got to decide.
Yeah, this matchup's fun. It's close. It's interactive. There's a lot of decision points, including, I think, the biggest decision points from Esper Hero come in sideboarding. Because Esper Hero is all about these very situational cards that when drawn in the wrong order, you just lose. But if you can play the deck correctly and sideboard correctly, you have the tools to beat just about anything. But one little mistake, and it's usually going to cost you a game.
Right. All right, so you get to be on the play here for the last one.
For all the marbles?
No, Ross still has the marbles, technically.
I believe they're behind you. Here, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could put them on the table if you want.
Can we just veto his marbles?
No, so we went 2 and 2 in the first match, and you won the second match.
Yep.
So if you win this one, it's like almost a clean sweep.
But if you win,
if I win, it's a tie.
We tied last week.
So
too.
I can't even win the marbles. So there's no reason to put them on the table.
Yeah, that's true. We can just share the marbles. Just Doman's veto the fact that he has.
Well, you know, I'm just gonna sneak in here and take them right before I move, right?
We'll be, Kyle. We have keys.
Yeah, we need to lock the doors.
We can lock the doors.
Of course.
Can we get one of those armed guards that the UK has that just sit there?
He's after me, lucky marbles. It's a Lucky Charms reference that you're trying to steal.
What? What are you talking about?
Lucky Charms. All right.
Who was going? Are you saying that I was making?
You're trying to steal me, lucky marbles. If anybody has any questions about how I perfected my Lucky Charms voice,
that was pretty good.
It's because I watched a lot of cartoons in the 90s, and the commercial seeped into my brain.
All right,
a lot of voice actor work going on here today.
Yeah.
You notice that?
We're really trying to expand our reaches here. I'm gonna keep my hand's a little awkward because of course I have Temple of Tilt. That's what makes every bit of hand bad. I'm gonna keep this. Okay.
Every
single time.
Your turn.
Todd.
Last game, Fanatical Firebrand dealt you 5 damage.
It was good. I'm going to go with the Duress.
Strike or Tybalt, and then I got some creatures.
All right, Tybalt was a huge problem for us last game. I think it would be remain a huge problem now. So we're going to do that and say go.
All right, we're probably going to get squished here by a cry, but we got to just keep putting pressure. Your turn.
Cry me.
That's okay. You're good. Come on, land.
All right, we did get a land, so thanks for calling that out for us.
Aw.
Now, what do we want to do about this? I think I am content just oathing here while I can without go to 21 without a Tybalt coming into play.
Go.
All right. So we don't have anything to really punish Todd for his missteps right now.
Tight.
No planeswalkers to gain incremental advantage here, so we're just gonna have to let Todd catch up, which is unfortunate.
We'll play a Chandra.
Okay.
Make 2 doofuses and attack you.
All right, we'll take it. 19. That is like the exact thing we did not want to see out of Todd. Our hand does not really play well to this at all right now. Your turn.
Nice.
Yuck.
Attack for 2.
Okay. 17.
I'll play a Goblin Chain Whirler.
16.
Here we go. Kill it.
We'll kill it. Once again, can't capitalize on not having a lot of aggression here.
Attack for 2.
I will take it. 14.
Symbol.
Eat us alive. Oh, God, that's bad. Okay.
Minus and make me a devil.
Yeah.
Your turn.
You.
I watched The Water Boy for the first time in a long time this past weekend.
It's a great movie.
It was quite good.
Me and my fiance watched that not too long ago as well. Your turn.
All right.
My hand is just not... this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about is like, you have great cards in certain situations, and these are good cards, but in this situation against Planeswalkers, it's not good. And I think this is a good reason to touch on why we think control...
I'm gonna do this too.
Okay, so I'll go to 10. So why control is kind of bad in this, because you can't be ready for everything in this big of a standard format right now. All right. So, yeah, I could have used that a year later, or a year earlier. We're going to go like this.
2 to you.
Yep. So I'm down to 8. And I'll have to pass it to you.
I'll strike you down to 5.
Okay. Actually, I have to veto that.
Sure. That's fine.
8.
All right, so you're still at 8?
Yep. Just holding on to these beautiful removal spells in hand that do not line up well with these red planeswalkers at all. And I mean, you said it. I mean, why do you need Chandra 4 when you have these? Maybe it's a better alternative to answer against removal like Mortify.
I kind of want to tick Chandra up just to keep the Tybalt. Like, I want to get the Tybalt back up, but that's just silly.
Tybalt at 2 and 1 is the same, right?
Effectively, I just can't make things. You're at 6.
But you don't want to make a thing. You don't want Tybalt to go away. I would love if you made a thing. Yep.
Go. I already played a land, so I'm just not even going to look. I don't want to give away the information.
Wow, you're good.
I'm going to look on my upkeep before I draw.
Since there's still 2 1s in play, I better kill those.
I'm going to look.
Just kidding. They're not in play. Your turn. I mean, I'm sitting here reacting to creatures. Just
all right. Draw for turn.
Yeah.
Top card.
Todd, are we gonna have a double tie weekend? We have not.
We're both the same. We're both just the same. Same. Okay, so can't play the top card, and my hand is locked. I will just zap you for 2.
Can't play the top card.
Yeah, it's a fry.
Okay.
You showed me your hand.
Yeah.
Put you to 4.
Okay, 4.
Your turn.
Fry's a little awkward there. Oh yeah. Go.
Okay. Draw for turn. Look at top. Play land.
We're sitting here twiddling our thumbs.
Mm-hmm. Attack for 2.
I'll take it.
You're at 2. Cast Ember Hauler.
That resolves.
Cast Runaway Steamkin.
Response.
2 to you.
Okay. Again.
You forced my hand. I was gonna let you cast Guy's Wrath, Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple turns there where you stumbled on 3. If I would have been able to capitalize with a Teferi, I think I still would have won that game. But the fact that I just drew reaction, but then that happens. That's what this deck is about. You have to play a mix of reaction and proactive spells, and sometimes you draw the wrong half.
And it's also a symptom of Narset Parter Veils being a little weak in this matchup. Because a lot of times your chain is Narset into Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and then you have more virtual copies of Teferi when your opponent is on empty or really low on resources. Like
exactly.
I was stuck on lands, for the first couple turns, but you hit like your 5th or 6th land drop, and your hand's just like two more wrath effects and a removal spell, and that's where the planeswalkers out of the sideboard actually gain a lot of traction. The Chandra Acolyte of Flame, making those creatures, or sometimes flashing back a Fry or a Burn spell or whatever to take off a planeswalker is really good. But on an empty battlefield, just two you. If you ever play a Teferi Time Raveler, right? Like, you get a minus and just draw a card?
Yeah.
I mean, if you do, that's fine. I just take care of it and still do a 1 to you.
Yeah.
But if you tick
up to try to stop damage, but...
Yeah, and then I could just ignore it for a little while. You know? It's not really that big of a problem.
Exactly. It's not like the instant matters. So, I mean, realistically, looking at how you sideboard, I think the Esper hero players have to realize that this is not like a sideboard guide with this deck should not ever exist, just because you have to adjust so much. And with adjusting with how you were bringing in, I think these would be coming back in for me.
Sure.
For game 3, if I were to win game 1, to present a way to actually kill your planeswalkers and then Oath the Kaya to be able to gain life after I've killed Tybalt or something like that. You need to be able to stay on your toes and adjust on the fly for different game states.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a lot of different builds of Esper over the last month or two, where sometimes they main deck Hero, sometimes they main deck Kaya's Wrath. And then out of the sideboard, oftentimes they have sideboard plans that involve being able to leave a Hero against the aggressive decks. And a lot of times, like the Hero Precinct 1 actually forces your opponent to overextend, and then they get caught really bad by the Kaya's Wrath. Sometimes, you can even Time Raveler, bounce your Hero, cast Wrath, the next turn, that plus follow-up.
Exactly.
There's a lot of play and a lot of sideboard decisions to be made, and a lot of, like you said, mind games to be played in this type of a matchup where, me siding out Shock or not is completely dependent on whether or not you have Hero in your deck and vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some games where the mono red player just stays super aggressive and then Hero is terrible. But when the mono red deck is trying to go big, kind of like what you did, Hero actually becomes good again, but you still fall to the trap of Chain Whirlers. You're not taking that card out. I mean, that card's just great. It pesters my planeswalkers, deals with Hero if I leave it in. So yeah, it's a tough matchup to play from both sides.
Agreed. It's one of the more fun matchups in the format, or it was before the new set was released, and I feel like that's going to continue to be the case.
But I think so. Yeah, and it's a very skill-intensive thing. Usually the better player wins, and we tied. Or no, you did win. So dang it, I set myself up.
That was like a Looney Tunes stepping on a rake moment. I got all my Acme rakes out.
I'll just put my beak around.
Anyway, so that'll do it here for Versus Live for today. Do we got any subs?
We do have a couple subs.
All right, let's read those off.
We got Jay Gotti 007 subscribed.
Woo! Okay.
Sultai Doc resubscribed 6 months.
Thank you.
We have Coldplay.
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 Nice.
Probably an Indianapolis Colts fan, but also a fan of the band Coldplay.
Maybe.
That's a bold call.
Famous for the song Yellow and other things no one ever remembers.
No, that's it. That's all they have, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Was that a fresh sub or an old sub?
That was a fresh one.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for the subs. We got a special one cooked up for you on Thursday with me and Ross. Are we allowed to say, or should we keep it? Should we keep it on the law?
Ross Miriam is going to make his triumphant return after second place at the Open in Worcester.
Yep.
He has the marbles, so you get to play for the marbles for the very first time. And if you don't win them, I'm going to have to write you out the will. Not going to lie.
Perfect. Yeah. And then, I'll be playing this week Thursday, and then I'll be testing in Barcelona the week after. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to take it for Ross. I really want these marbles, so you can't take them from me.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But our Thursday show is going to incorporate all three constructed formats that we're going to be playing this weekend in Philadelphia for the Team Open. We're going to do one match of Standard, one match of Modern, and one
Pauper.
And Pauper.
Yeah.
So Legacy, we don't get to play a whole lot of Legacy on Versus Live, and that a lot of times is due to the fact that just card availability, or we're just not really having an event anytime soon. There's been a bit of a shakeup in Legacy over the past few months. War of the Spark introduced a lot of powerful planeswalkers. I think Narset Parter Veils is quite good in Legacy. I think Dreadhorde Arcanist is just an insanely powerful card in a format full of 1-mana spells.
But can't forget Renin $60.
Yeah, Renin $60. That's a good one. I like that. It's actually just a great value card with Brainstorm. I've seen a lot of like 4-color Delver decks and just Teamer Delver decks just using Renin 6 as minus shoot your Delver, or plus get a land back, Brainstorm, fetch.
What a world to be alive where Renin 6 is one of the best blue cards available to you right now.
Right? It's nice. Really it lets you recoup a lot of that card advantage. It lets you play. So a lot of times the Delver decks are kind of stifled on development by an opposing Wasteland or whatever. And Renin 6 just fixes that. If you get it on the battlefield, Renin fix.
Renin 6? God, Renin 6 is a great card just for the name puns that we can do. So we're gonna see. Maybe we'll have a Renin 6 deck pop up and see if we can do something. I know I am going to be playing the only deck I know how to play in Legacy. I'll leave it as a surprise until then, but I like it. It's good. Todd doesn't like it, but I think I can beat Renin 6.
It just like hasn't changed in like 3 years or 2 years or whatever.
I like to update it. If it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. So we will see you again on Thursday. Me and Ross will be back to CF Versus Live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you there. For me, Corey, and Todd, we'll see you later.